Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome and thank you for joining us. We are live at the Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts for the inaugural U.S. InCabin event. My name is Carl Anthony, founder and editor of AutoVision News and a proud partner of Sense Media, who organizes both the AutoSense and InCabin conferences. With us today is Michael McDonald, who joined Geo Semiconductor, now Indie Semiconductor, just a year ago, as their director of marketing for their automotive products. And Michael focuses particularly on the next generation of automotive vision processors. He started his long semiconductor career working on the AMD 386 microprocessor. That was over 30 years ago. And back when he studied at Rice University in the late 80s, he worked on a computer vision software program for the orientation of space satellites, which is really cool. Michael, welcome and thank you for being here.
Great to be here.
Michael, tell us a little bit about Indie Semiconductor. Tell us about the work that you're doing in the in-cabin space right now.
Yeah, so Indie has three platforms that they're looking at. One is the electrification of the vehicle.
Sure.
The other one is around ADAS, and the third one is the in-cabin experience.
Right.
And so Geo, the company that Indie acquired, we were very active on image processors inside of the cabin. So being able to detect the driver and his focus and interest.
Sure.
So one of our particular claims to fame was the ability to handle image sensors that have both the RGB and the infrared.
Yeah.
Being able to process those and get a high resolution infrared image,
Right.
and then being able to display an RGB image without the infrared contamination.
Right.
So that was one of the particular fields of expertise that we had. But also within we're one of the market leaders in the Apple CarPlay. So we have over 65% of the market share there.
Cool.
And then we also do LED lighting inside of the vehicle.
Sure.
And so there's a lot of different technologies that Indie has now inside of the vehicle cabin, so the in-cabin experience.
Right. And speaking of the experience, and I know we were emailing each other about this, why is that in-cabin experience so important? Why is that so fundamental to the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so as these cars become more autonomous or there's more driver support systems,
Sure.
then drivers may get a tendency to get distracted
Sure.
because there's less for them to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of interest in having driver monitoring systems so that as more autonomy happens, that you can still make sure that the driver is paying attention.
Right.
Because there's still this expectation, at least for a number of years, that the driver still needs to be involved. And so we need to be able to tell, car companies need to be able to tell that, hey, the driver isn't paying attention. So
Right.
I think as the L2 features go up, the driver management experience needs to go up as well.
Sure. Michael, let's talk about the Indie and Geo acquisition. What are the benefits? What are the synergies? How does it strengthen your collective automotive portfolio, if you will?
Yeah, it was interesting because I was working on the first presentation that incorporated, the Indie template, and I found that a lot of the Geo customers were not listed on the Indie customer list.
Right.
So it was really nice to be able to see that, there were a different set of customers that we were addressing. And what that has done is it's actually opened up a lot of doors for Geo that we didn't know that there were opportunities there.
Sure.
So that's been really exciting, and I think it's also going to be really exciting for Indie to be able to, bring a deeper, richer portfolio on the vision side of things.
Right.
So I think it'll accelerate their portfolio. I think we'll be able to address a broader portion of the market by consolidating two strong organizations.
Absolutely. So to expand on that a little further, Michael, what are some of the challenges then that you're helping your customers address?
Yeah, so the DMS OMS is of really big interest for these companies. So as you start moving to the L1, L2, and driver assist, again, there's the distraction capability. So a number of people here at this event are taking a look at the DMS OMS stuff, and we feel that we're in a lot of the existing DMS solutions,
Right.
because of our ability to handle this RGB IR.
Right.
And so that's a really key capability that we bring.
Sure. The role of the ecosystem. Will Indie provide software as part of their solution? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so the ecosystem for us is very important. We have a very close relationship with all the image sensor companies.
Yep.
So a strength that an OEM would have is that they can use us with anybody's image sensor, as
Right.
opposed to that isn't always the case.
Right.
So we give a lot of flexibility, and so that's one nice thing. The other thing is we're not going out there offering software that a customer must buy from us.
Sure.
So that contrasts with perhaps some of our competitors where they're making a person buy both the silicon and the software.
Right.
What we're doing is we're working with all the different software partners so that the tier one can choose which software solution do they like. So
Right.
we're working with all of them. And that becomes especially important in areas like China, where people want to have a quick solution that they can come to market with.
Yeah.
So working with these companies, working with these software partners in advance, we can then offer a product that's can very quickly go to market for them.
Right. When we talk about radar, sometimes it's very easy to think radar in the exterior of the vehicle, but there's applications for in-cabin technology. Michael, let's talk a little bit about that. How can we use radar inside the vehicle?
Yeah, it's one of the things I was real excited about when India acquired Geo. Is Geo in the past had focused primarily on the ISP and the image processing. India has acquired 3 radar companies, and so they're making a really big bet in radar.
Yeah.
And to me, it's real important to have these complementary technologies where things that a camera can't do well are often things where radar can do very well.
Yes.
So inside of the cabin, the camera has a great view of a lot of things, but what they often can't see is the baby covered by the blanket.
Yeah.
If you can't see the baby, then camera doesn't work.
Sure.
But a radar capability, radar gives you that capability.
Right.
As you also start moving towards zonal architectures, where within a zone you may have combinations of radar and camera sensor technologies.
Right.
This combination of Geo's image processing with the radar processing that Indy had becomes a really potent, very powerful combination.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm personally really excited by.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Michael, with all the stuff you have going on, all the stuff we've talked about, what are the latest automotive success stories? Can you share one with us?
Yeah, so Indy has had, they're in about 1 in 4 vehicles already.
Sure.
The Apple CarPlay, they have about 65% market share. So the company that Indy acquired, Semiconductor,
Right.
we're working with about 7 out of the top 10 OEMs.
That's cool. That's
And
cool.
most of the DMS solutions actually have our technology. So the RGB IR capability that we have is really considered to be best in class.
Right. Right. Michael, it's been great to talk to you from all of us here at AutoVision News and InCabin. We want to wish you safe travels home, but have a good rest of the show. Thank you for sharing your expertise and thought leadership. I look forward to getting caught up and doing an interview like this maybe again one day in the future.
Thanks, Carl. It was great talking with you.
More to come from InCabin Phoenix here on the AutoVision News LinkedIn page. From the Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts, I'm Carl Anthony, AutoVision News.